Like, no way.
Dude, I once accidentally dropped AirPods. They were both in the case into an open cup of Fresca.
Welcome.
Oh, here we go.
Welcome to the Low Grade Research Podcast.
So describe it a little bit.
Do you want to talk about it, or do you want to move on?
You'd probably... No, I'm happy to talk about it. I'd love to talk about it. Because it's an interesting thing, and it's about to come out or be seen a little bit more. So people will probably be seeing it a little bit more as we're talking about it.
Yeah, and I don't know the exact release date. I know that we're like right on the precipice, right? Because you can even, I was on there, I was looking at it today, and you can order one. And it's called their AI pin. So a bunch of ex-Apple designers left, and then they started their own company called Humane. And I've read quite a bit about it and been following it because I think it's going to be an absolute disaster of a product launch. And I'm not sure that the company's really going to survive either. And we can talk about it. But their whole like mission statement is to produce technology for tomorrow rather than technology for today.
Mm-hmm.
And so to showcase that right out of the gate, their first product is the Humane AI pin. And so it's been on social media like crazy, and YouTube and all this stuff. But like, it's essentially like those magnetic name tags.
Sure.
So like you go work at a movie theater or whatever, and you've got your name tag, and it's got like a magnetic back on it or whatever. Yeah. It's the same thing, except the name tag part of it is a little computer that has a touchpad on it. It has a camera. It has a couple of lights and a speaker, and so you have this pin that's running an AI voice assistant.
Does it like connect to your phone, or is it like a cell phone service where you buy this internet service to run it?
From what I understand, Humane wants it to replace phones entirely.
Okay.
They think that you'll be able to do everything with just your pin.
So like when you're out and about, it just kind of connects to the grid or to the internet?
Yeah, it'll be a cell phone thing.
Okay.
So,
cool.
but I mean, I talked about all the reasons I thought it was going to fail in our group text today, and one of those being expense, because the base model starts at $699.
Yeah, it's insane.
And you have to pay $699 plus you have to pay carrier fees. So like you're paying your, I don't know, $40 a month to Verizon or whatever.
Right.
And then you have to pay Humane a $24 a month subscription in order to use it.
Yeah.
So you have to pay them $700 outright, and then you have to continue paying them $24 a month to use the thing you just paid $700 for.
And that's on top of your carrier plan.
On
that's
top
just
of
to
it.
use their product.
Yeah. So you pay $700, and then you're paying another, I don't know, $75 a month just to use the stupid thing.
Man.
Like, what kind of a grift is this? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Right out of the gate.
Well, and it doesn't seem, so far from what I've seen, it doesn't seem to do anything spectacular.
No.
It's just kind of like, oh, it's got some cool bells and whistles.
Every single thing has some weird marketing buzzword name that they think is just, they're acting like it's the most revolutionary thing that's ever happened.
Yeah.
So they talk about how you're supposed to use this thing as a voice assistant that's AI powered, which is just ChatGPT. And you can talk to it. You can take pictures with it. And then it doesn't have any apps, and it doesn't have any screens. And in fact, they said that there won't be apps. What do they call it? They called it something like there'll be experiences or something.
Ugh.
Which is like, it's just an app, dude.
Yeah, it's an app.
Like, shut up, man. And like
It is so culty.
the pin, it is. And like the pin is, because an app, like you select the app and you use the app, but the pin will just find the right experience for you for what it is you're asking. Sure. And that's why it's not an app, it's an experience.
Terrific.
Like, shut up, man.
So many experiences.
Dude, it's so ridiculous. And so, I'm on, I have a Threads account, which is just Facebook's Twitter, right?
Okay. I was wondering, I haven't dove into Threads to really find out. I was wondering.
It was really great, actually.
For a week?
I really enjoyed using it for probably a couple months. There's still no ads on there.
Oh, okay.
Like Instagram, like,
yeah,
I deleted it off my phone
ads.
because there are so many, like you can't even see any content anymore. It's just ads. But Threads has no ads at all. So it really just kind of felt like this cool place, like what social media should be.
What it used to be, almost.
But then like within the past week probably, there has been like, I don't know if somebody at Meta just flipped a switch in their server room or what, dude, but the amount of political posts, I guess, I was going to call them tweets, but the amount of political posts and like, I don't have a stance on any of this stuff really, but like, all these left-wing ideals and all these right-wing ideals, and like, there's a place for those conversations for sure. And I'm not frustrated that those conversations exist on Threads, but it just felt like we went from 0 to 100. And,
oh, sure.
And I had started using Threads and I was following like people who were into design and art and all these things.
Sure, yeah.
And then like those have been completely swallowed by all these other like really political posts.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, now that you've said that, like, I feel like that's what most of my social media is now geared towards.
Yeah.
Because it started out like, oh, I'm interested in these things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in outdoor stuff. I'm interested in food and different experiences, if you will.
Yeah, not apps, though.
But experiences like that. And then it slowly morphed into like, yeah, well, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I was just trying to look up recipes for...
Well, Trump could stab Biden in the neck if he wanted.
Exactly, right? Trump eats babies. Biden can't ski, things like that.
He probably
can't.
Like,
I'll bet he could.
Yeah, I don't think he could.
Maybe he's like, nah, we don't know.
So anyway, the whole reason I brought it up was because one of the co-founders, the CEO of Humane, posted like a picture of someone in a ski jacket at a ski resort wearing a Humane pin on there or whatever. And she was like, I'm the CEO of Humane and I helped design this product. It's going to revolutionize the world and yada, yada, yada. Tell me what you think about it. And all of the comments, it was like, this is the stupidest thing we've ever seen. Like, what the heck do you think this is going to,
Sure.
It's like, what happens if that dude falls and he loses that? Oh, he can't get out his phone that has been replaced by a pin to find the stupid pin. You know what I mean? Or
especially if he's, if it's not connected to a phone. And if it's just a magnet, like a backing magnet in there, like, that's so easy. I mean, they're on there sturdy, but like, if you're skiing and you fall, it'll fall off so easy.
100%.
If you're like holding a toddler and he sees that, it's off your shirt, it's on the ground, it's wherever you happen to be.
Yep.
Like, no way.
Dude, I once accidentally dropped AirPods that were both in the case into an open cup of Fresca. I can't explain how it even happened, but like, those are already too expensive as it is. I can't trust myself with a $700 pin that's going to go on my chest.
I know.
I don't even wear watches because once in high school I smashed a watch on a brick wall on accident trying to give someone a hug and it shattered the face.
No kidding, man. And with how expensive they are, if someone can just run up and take it off your chest and they're gone.
They're gone.
Right?
Or like, what if you trip on a pothole or something and then you fall? It's gone. Like, are they replacing these $700 pins for everyone?
Do you have
like
insurance for these?
You probably should, dude.
Backup pin?
That's clearly not a good idea.
Sure.
That clearly doesn't have any competitive niche in the market. That clearly doesn't produce something that is going to replace anything that we already use and doesn't have any novel solutions for anything. And then they just are refusing to listen to what people are saying about it.
Totally. It just seems like a gadget from a really... just from a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
Where it works perfectly, right?
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to speak to this thing and like, hey, tell me more about this, or like, what updates do I have? But like, if you're in a noisy restaurant, how's it supposed to hear? You can't get Siri to hear you properly.
No.
Right? How's this thing on your chest supposed to hear you properly when you're out with friends, you're at a bar, you're doing whatever, if there's any noise at all?
Yep.
So it just seems like they're like, this is a cool idea of a spin-off of something I saw in a movie one time, and I bet we can replicate it.
Yeah.
But it's not going to work to that level that you see in your sci-fi movie.
I don't know that I want to just pin something to my chest that's taking data to these people who are making up words like experiences instead of apps or whatever.
Right.
Like, it just doesn't seem competent. There you go. There's the soapbox.
So anyway, check it out. And
check it out. Buy one.
Tell us what you think. Check it out. Buy one.
Yeah.
And you can come on our podcast and tell us how it works.
Honestly, yeah. If somebody buys one and they want to come on, yeah, I'm totally cool with that.
For sure.
We're not going to do it at my home because I don't need a stranger in here.
We'll
but
take you to dinner, though. And we'll do it there.
Denny's, dude?
Denny's.
Okay, we'll take you to Denny's.
Denny's at 11 p.m.
We'll even pay for it. Part of it.
I kind of want to go to Denny's.
Should we record another episode at Denny's?
At Denny's. Coming to you live from Denny's. It's 11:30 p.m.
This is our waitress, Crystal.
Oh
boy.
It's like one time I just remember, I mean, you can only go to Denny's when it's late, but I remember one time going with my brother and his friend, and we had this guy waiting on us that was like roughly our age. He seemed maybe a little bit younger.
Okay.
And I mean, it was like 11 o'clock or later at night.
Yeah.
And looking back on him, like, yeah, he may have been like getting a buzz going. He was a little high.
Sure.
And he just like floated up to us and he's like, "Hey brothers, how's it going? What can I do for you?" We're like, "We need some pancakes, man." And it's like, "No problem." And he comes back and he didn't bring any syrup. And he was just like, "You gonna want some pancake sauce for that?" And I was like, "Yeah, we are."
Pancake sauce, dude.
Go float back and get us some, you know?
Yeah, that guy was buzzing.
So there you go.
All right, I got to adjust my mic, sorry. There we go. I'm going to be 4 times louder than I was before. Anyway, dude, we're 34 minutes in. What do we talk about today?
Holy smokes. Let's get into it. So this one's a fun one. Today we're going to talk about the Euthanasia Coaster.
Oh, boy. So the humane pin.
That's more of an emotional euthanasia coaster.
Great.
Anyway, so let's break that down. For those that don't know, because it is a big word. And I know I have friends that don't know what that is. Jeremiah. I'll be honest, up until just, a few years ago, I think I graduated high school before I knew what the word euthanasia meant.
And Mitch had to retake a lot of years in high school.
I retook a lot of classes.
He's 30. He just graduated from high school 2 years ago.
Thank you. Got that GED. Got it again. Anyway.
They just let you keep going to the actual building to not hurt your feelings. They didn't even get you a diploma.
Listen, you got a young enough face. Why don't you just keep coming back?
That's not true. No disrespect, dude. But, I mean, you look good. You don't look like you're in high school.
You're just a second-year senior. Why don't you come back so we don't...
I have to keep telling people you're not 60.
Oh, man.
All right, sorry.
Anyway... So, a euthanasia, let's get serious here. We're talking about euthanasia.
Yeah.
We're going to say that word a lot. So, a device of euthanasia is a machine that's engineered to allow an individual to die quickly with minimal pain.
Okay.
So, the Euthanasia Coaster, and we're talking roller coasters, not the little discs you put your cups on.
Sure. This isn't an article about... flinging a coaster like a frisbee and getting someone in the neck.
These are...
That's a different podcast
That's
episode.
That's a different topic that we can talk about. Anyway, so the Euthanasia Coaster is a hypothetical roller coaster that is designed as a euthanasia device to kill its passengers.
Okay.
So it's a hypothetical. This isn't an actual roller coaster that has been made.
That's probably good.
Yeah, but it has been designed, and small scale models have been made of it. Yeah.
How small?
Like you put a little.
Like they're putting mice through this thing.
You put a little trolley of cockroaches on it. Nothing big, like small cockroaches.
Does it really say what they've been doing on there?
No.
Oh.
It's just...
Oh, you're just guessing. I was like, also, you can't kill cockroaches, dude. That's the worst animal to choose.
Killing roaches, mice. They've got all these rows of mice just buckled down in this roller coaster.
They're so polite. This joke is failing fast.
It's diving. We're going to cut this part.
Yeah.
So the concept of it was come up with in 2010 and then made into a scale model by a Lithuanian artist, and let's see if we can get through his name. Julie Jonas or Bonus.
Carry on.
So I don't have to call him Mr. Urbonus.
Maybe you should, though.
So
It's more respectful.
So Mr. Urbonus was a PhD candidate at the Royal College of Art in London.
Not with a name like that, dude.
No, for real. For real.
Did he get his PhD?
It doesn't say. I mean, maybe, because I think, confident he designed this as part of some of his art stuff while in college.
Like for a thesis or something?
I don't know if it was for a thesis, but
for a dissertation?
But for a project. We'll kind of get into that.
Okay.
Because we will talk about how it's on display. Anyway, so Mr. Urbonus came up with this idea because for a time he was actually employed at a theme park.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, that's his experience with roller coasters, and he thought, why not
picking
make
up puke?
Why not make one that kills people? His exact words were...
Isn't that the thought of everyone who's worked at an amusement park?
Like, I want this to be so fun that someone might die.
Make one that kills.
I really hope someone dies on this.
Oh boy!
But he stated that his goal of this concept roller coaster is to take lives with elegance and euphoria.
Yeesh, dude.
Mm-hmm. So a man named
So
John...
I want to clarify. He didn't come up with the original design.
So
he just made it into a model?
No, he did come up with the design as well.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he did come up with the design as well. He was kind of influenced a little bit by a man named John Allen, who was the president of the Philadelphia Toboggan Company.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah, you do that for enough years, you want to start euthanizing people too.
Mm-hmm. And the Philadelphia Toboggan Company...
Is this just a cautionary tale about people who, about the dangers of having a mundane life and job?
I think it's the tale of a young man named Mr. Urbonus who enjoyed amusement, but also was looking for a way out. So, the Philadelphia Toboggan Coasters is a roller coaster manufacturing company.
Okay.
So it's probably possible that you've been on a roller coaster produced by the Philadelphia Toboggan Company. Yeah, it's one of the oldest roller coaster manufacturing companies in the world.
Where's it located?
It is located in Hatfield, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Yeah. So the president of the Philadelphia Toboggan Company inspired Mr. Urbonus with his description of this ultimate roller coaster ride. And as he describes it, one that sends out 24 people and they all come back dead. So what's also shocking about this is that the president of a roller coaster company was like, we should really put some thought into this.
No kidding, though.
So the first design was it actually just propelled the coaster into a wall.
You're kidding.
And released all the seatbelts. Yeah, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay, because I was going to say, when you first brought it up, I was like, what is it, just driving to a wall?
At really high speeds. Oh, they make those. They're called cars. Listen, we've had euthanasia coasters for a long time.
And that's all cars do, dude.
That's all cars do. All right, so I'm going to do a little reading here because it talks about, it describes the process of this coaster.
Okay.
Also, it's just ridiculous, some of the things that it has, because in order to make this, it's going to have to be more extreme in some ways than current existing roller coasters.
Okay.
Right? So, for example, the concept design of the layout begins with a steep angled lift that takes the riders straight up.
I'm familiar.
500 meters.
Holy moly.
Which is about 1,600 feet all the way to the top. Taking a couple minutes.
That's a tall piece of work, dude.
Can you think about how long that's going to take? Because it doesn't shoot you up. It takes you up.
You get
clickety clack all the way to the top. I mean, that's 4 or 5 minutes of just a vertical climb. And that's a long time to think about the decision you've just made. Because if you're getting on this roller coaster, you know you're not getting off by yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you're signing up for that, right?
Exactly. So,
dude, that is kind of terrifying because you're going to get, I mean, can you imagine how horrifying the last, like, I don't know, 15 feet of that must be? You know what I mean?
Oh, man, yeah.
Getting up to that peak.
For comparison, the tallest roller coaster in the world is in New Jersey. It's called the King de Ka.
Okay.
And it's 139 meters tall. So, yeah. So about...
Okay, that's still crazy, dude.
Just barely, about a quarter of the height. A little more than a quarter of the height. Of
130 meters tall for anything is still crazy that you're going to go ride on.
Right? Yeah. And then this design has a 500 meter climb. So once they get to the top of this, I mean, and we're talking about this like it exists somewhere.
This is everyday North Korea.
But remember, this is just a hypothetical coaster, so it doesn't exist. But in the design, once they reach the top, they say the user may exit the coaster.
Oh, that's nice.
Because they have a chance to think about their whole life on the way to the top.
Yeah, you have no choice but to do that for 45 minutes while you're heading up there.
If they do not exit, they would have some time to say their last words and press a button to continue. I know, right? Which this is a 24-person coaster, so they're pushing that button for all 24 people. Better make sure you get a clear head nod from each one before you push that. Is it, or do you
have... Well, I wonder if you sit in your seat and then you have a button to push in your seat.
Well, it wasn't super clear on if this was... Because it just mentioned from, John Allen, president of the Philadelphia Toboggan Company, that he wanted a coaster that sends out 24 people and they all come back dead. So it wasn't clear if this design is actually... It doesn't seem like...
And then he went home and ate some babies.
That's right.
They're like, this is a serious man.
Looked home and watched up people dying on YouTube.
Oh, that's not hard to do.
But yeah, it doesn't seem like they designed the toboggan, the coaster part of it. They just designed the track portion of it.
Okay.
So I don't know. So maybe it is just one at a time. Like
that does make me feel better though, because I feel like it'd be most effective if the people don't know that there's a button to push at the top. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because then you really think you get into that thing and you're sure when you get in. But then by the time you get to the top of that, I don't think that anybody would be very sure. But the knowledge of knowing that you can't get out of it would contribute to your decision one way or the other, right?
So. Yeah, I think so.
Instead of just like, oh, well, I'm riding up this thing and I'm going to have a chance to say no. So here's a nice view of New Jersey.
Yeah, right. They put it right next to the Kangaka.
Yeah, exactly next to it.
Yeah, that was the tallest coaster in the whole world.
And we built the tallest
one. Now it's this one.
Literally next to it.
We're better.
The tracks are parallel. It couldn't be closer.
The best and last coaster you ever ride. So once they get to the top and press this button, they immediately go into a straight dive, reaching speeds of 360 kilometers an hour, which calculates to 220 miles an hour. Or 100 meters per second, which is pretty much terminal velocity.
Yeah, that's quite fast.
It's very fast.
In a big old sled with 23 other people.
For 500 meters. Yeah. You better hope that track holds up.
I don't think it will. How could it? Does it matter if it does?
I guess it serves its purpose. So as they reach the bottom, the track then begins to flatten out. And it speeds into the
Okay, can I pause you for just 2 seconds? Because I just looked something up. How tall was it? 1,600 feet, is that you said?
1,600 feet.
Because the Sears Tower is 1,400 feet.
Holy crap. It's an extra 200 feet above the Sears Tower.
The Empire State Building to the very tip is 1,454 feet. So
oh my gosh.
You're riding a roller coaster that goes higher than the tallest building in New York City.
And that's where the drop point is from.
Yeah.
It's just a free drop. Holy crap.
Yeah, good. There's no way. You would die from a heart attack on the way up.
I'd say you'll die before you get to that first bend.
Yikes. All right, sorry. I didn't mean to derail.
You're good.
I just couldn't, I couldn't conceptualize that, you know?
That's a great comparison. I'm glad you pulled that up. So when they reach the bottom of that, the track flattens out and it starts heading towards the first of 7, they describe them as clothoid inversions.
Okay.
Which clothoid...
My uncle had one of those.
A clothoid... Oof. That's rough.
Yeah.
It's where your colon ties itself in a knot.
around your neck.
But colloidal is like it's like a calculus type term, but it just is basically a spiral type thing.
Okay, so a loop-de-loop.
No, so I thought that too. And when you pull up picture, I've got a picture that I'll show you too. So it's not quite a loop-de-loop as it really is like a spiral. So it goes in a circle.
Oh,
like
okay.
this.
So kind of like an oblong spiral.
Kind of, yeah. So instead of going like straight backflip, you're almost spinning sideways.
Dude,
in a full circle.
I don't like that.
Kind of like a corkscrew.
Yeah, okay.
So there's 7 of these loops, each of them gradually getting smaller. And the purpose of that is because as you flatten out, your speed eventually will slowly decrease.
Sure.
And especially as you make these loops. So the loops get smaller and smaller so that your speed correlating with which loop you're in will maintain a force of 10 Gs.
Okay, I see.
So you get where
that's why the
where it's
loops are getting tighter. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
So the loops get tighter as it maintains.
So you're saying that by the
Gs.
time you get into that first loop, you're at 10 Gs and you stay at 10 Gs until you're done.
Until the end. Mm-hmm.
Dude.
Mm-hmm. Crazy, right?
That doesn't sound so much like Euphoria as just getting squished to death in your seat.
Oh, no kidding, right?
You know?
With your eyes and your neck.
I don't think 10 Gs can literally crush a person, but like you're gonna feel like you got crushed.
It'll feel like you got crushed, but yeah, the force doesn't actually kill you. I'll describe here.
Yeah.
I'll describe here how it actually works. So anyway, each inversion has a smaller diameter than the one before, and that's so it can maintain the lethal 10 Gs. And a G is gravitational force, so it's a measurement of the force of gravity pulling on.
Which,
object.
like, if you, how many Gs do you experience
on a roller coaster that doesn't kill you?
All right, so just, I guess, for another point of reference, so like 10 Gs in that roller coaster, when you take off, the lift of an aircraft has to be greater than the force of gravity. But on takeoff, on a normal flight, the G force is around 0.4 Gs.
Oh, really?
So when you feel like you're getting crushed back into your seat for a minute, that's 0.4.
That's 0.4.
That's half of a G.
That's disgusting.
And this roller coaster is doing 10 of those.
It's doing 10 constantly.
Well, I guess this is Cora saying this, so I mean it's a straight up lie because I don't trust that. But this says about 1.2 to 1.3 Gs. So even still, you're going 10 times the amount.
Really low.
Yeah, very low.
That's super low. So at the end of each of these loops, once you get to the end of all these loops, there's a sharp right-hand turn that takes the cart back to kind of the flat straightaway.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that could be as sharp as it wants to be.
It could be as sharp as it wants because
as much as the machines can handle.
They don't have to worry about whiplash.
No.
So the cart enters a straight where they unload. It says where unloading of the corpses and loading of new passengers could take place. So they're doing it. So ideally, they've got a line.
Do you think the line runs up the length of that straight part like they do
like
in theme parks? So
why wouldn't it?
You can just see this cart slam around that corner and all the bodies just fling to the other side.
I'm just imagining all these people waiting in line watching this, and they've got these like gleeful expressions of like, oh man, I just can't wait to die. Like,
I'm going to go twice.
I've been waiting forever. And they see this cart of dead people go by. They're like, oh man, what a ride.
This has lost its flavor for me.
No, they're stoked. They're like, oh, I'm next. Do you think people would get like a lightning pass for this line?
You probably should, yeah. If they're really trying to maximize their profits, it'd be dumb not to.
Take your grandma in a wheelchair so you can cut to the front.
They could have along the way a couple of stations, like estate planning really quick, and then like
standby lawyer.
Like a notary.
Put your affairs in order.
Put your stamp on your will.
There you go.
Why not? An animal shelter that'll take in your pets and find them a new home.
Perfect. Hopefully you figured that out by the time you're waiting in line for this coaster.
All I'm saying, dude, is the kind of person who's going to go and ride a roller coaster to their death that does 7 spiral loop-de-loops at 10 Gs is not thinking about how their dog is going to make it the next day.
Maybe. All right, well, let's talk about the mechanism of action.
Mechanism of death.
Exactly, how it kills you.
That's a metal band, dude. Mechanism of death.
Band name, I call it.
Nope.
We're going to be a traditional bluegrass roots band.
We're a mechanism of death.
Ding, 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 ding.
With a special guest, Oliver Anthony.
Howdy, y'all.
It's not how he sounds at all.
Honestly, I was... So obviously the first time I ever saw anything about him was when that song went out.
Yeah.
And it became viral. And then he, then he got on everyone's podcast, and I was like, oh, you don't sound as dumb as I thought you were going to.
No kidding,
you know
dude, yeah.
He's actually like...
He's like very conscious and intelligent, very down, yeah.
I was definitely surprised, so kudos to you, Oliver, for proving us all wrong.
Honestly, I liked about him. I mean, I think the song should be applicable to everything. I think super right-wing people grabbed it and really ramped it.
It came out at the right time for them to do that. You know what I mean?
But like the message in there, like there should not be a single person in this country that thinks that their representative in Congress has their best interest at heart.
Oh, for sure.
But he was talking about he was like going through Ticketmaster. He's going to do a big like arena show or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then the fees were like more than the ticket. And so he came out on Instagram, was like, do not buy these tickets. I will refund everybody. We're going to do this without Ticketmaster or whatever. Like, we're going to do our own thing. And so you don't have to pay crazy. It's like stupid to pay fees.
The fees are ridiculous.
Yeah. He was like, if it were up to me, just come and see me for free or something like that. So,
cool, dude.
Respect, dude.
Cool, dude.
Anyway. The podcast just got labeled as right-wing extremist.
Mechanism of action. Go see him in concert. So the Euthanasia Coaster, how it works is that the mechanism of killing these people would take place through prolonged cerebral hypoxia, which basically...
So no oxygen to the brain.
Wow, very good, yeah.
I know some stuff.
So prolonged lack of oxygen to the brain. So because of these 7 sideways loop-de-loops and inversions, the G-force, the force of 10 Gs, or gravitational force on the passengers, would last... it said roughly like 60 seconds plus. And so after that amount of time, it's enough oxygen deprivation to your brain that it is lethal.
We do know, I studied neuroanatomy in college, right? And so we do know that your brain is the most sensitive organ to lack of oxygen or nutrients,
so sensitive.
It's like 60 seconds would be entirely too long, in fact.
Yeah, it's plenty of time.
Yeah, you'd be done in a fraction of that.
It's plenty of time. So it would start with a gray out, which is just not enough for a blackout. Living in Texas. Just like living in Texas. So it's a gray out is transient loss of vision. So basically just a little bit of light isn't making it through your cornea.
Sure.
That would then progress to tunnel vision.
Yep.
Which then goes to full blackout, and eventually G-lock, which is a G-force induced loss of consciousness. And then the subsequent inversions, and then it says subsequent inversions or another run on the coaster would serve as insurance against the unintentional survival of more robust passengers.
So, hold on though, because let's think about that for just a second. Because a more robust passenger makes it through all 7 loops miraculously.
Yeah.
His body gets flung into the side as hard as it can go around that whiplash corner at the end.
Yeah.
And then he's got another 15 minutes to recover to get up to the top of that thing again.
Well, wait here while we unload the 23 other passengers, and we'll send you again, I guess.
Can you imagine, like, coming to right at the top, and they're like, you already pushed the button, dude. You're like, no! I don't want to go again.
This is your second time.
Congrats, man.
Bro, how was it?
They put a sticker on your chest. You're part of our second timers club.
You did it. Only 3 people.
Oh my lord,
you can do this for 17 years.
The morbidity of like playing that whole situation out is horrific.
Isn't that crazy? But yeah, so it's like, this one didn't die. Running through again.
Send him again, boys.
And 10 G's is like you said, like you gave us an example of what like 1.2 G's feels like. There's like so few people in this whole world that have even experienced 10 G's. And it's for like a second, right?
Yeah.
Like your Air Force.
Like Blue Angels or whatever.
Pilots, yeah. Maybe your Blue Angels probably have.
Yeah.
And those are people that are doing that despite orders not to. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like they're like, yeah, I want to try it, and we'll see how it goes. And what people on the ground on air control are like, yeah, don't do that, please. Like, if you pass out, you're gonna die.
My guy.
Hey, my guy, it's just you in there, and that's an expensive plane.
Dude, I just looked up another one too. So even in a Formula One car, you're going to experience a lot of G's, and these are dudes that are training for that constantly.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever seen a Formula One dude's neck, by the way?
Oh, they're huge.
It's
they're
as thick as my leg.
Thick. And not only that, but they're wearing special suits that put more pressure on their lower limbs, so that when you hit those G's, it doesn't push the blood into your limbs, right? It keeps it in your torso and upper body.
This says that the max G's you're going to hit in a Formula One car is between 4 and 6.5.
Yeah, and any normal person in one of those cars is going to throw up in their mask.
Yeah, you're not going to have a good day, dude.
No, dude. No way.
Nope.
We went to the Olympic Park in Park City.
Yeah.
And they still have their bobsled run up.
Oh, yeah.
And you can...
Did you go down it?
Oh, it was incredible, yeah.
That sounds awesome.
So you can take it...
Date night?
There's a... Oh, great idea.
Yeah, I know.
Great idea.
I know.
They have a professional driver that drives it, and the track isn't iced anymore. It's a concrete track.
Okay. And
so the cart they have is on like these wheels and stuff, but I mean, it still gets up to speed.
Yeah.
Right? And like the forces in that were wild. And like I have a decently thick neck from wrestling and stuff like that.
You look like you're 60 and got a thick neck.
I'm not an attractive person.
I hate to tell you today, but it had to come out at some point.
That's why there's only audio for this
Our
podcast.
50th episode was just going to be me talking about that.
About old thick neck.
Old thick neck.
Right? But like I have a thick neck relative to like general population, and even on that thing, I was getting some whiplash, man. It was just like wow, wow. But I can't imagine it was over like 3 Gs at the very most, right? Like probably similar to like a little above an airplane, honestly. So yeah, 10 Gs, I just don't think we can comprehend.
Should we look up max Gs in a bobsled?
Look up what a bobsled is.
A 4-man bobsled can reach speeds up to 100 miles an hour, and the athletes can experience around 5 or 6 Gs in some of the harshest corners.
Okay, cool. I think the one...
So you probably came up to like 3 or 4, maybe?
I think the one we did maybe hit 70 miles an hour, which is still crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, you're not hitting the numbers in this, but yeah. Sheesh, man.
Yeah, which is crazy to think about going that fast in this cart.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
On a concrete tube.
And honestly, they're like, yeah, we've got professional drivers that drive these things. Honestly, the guy looked like he was your next door neighbor's dad. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I believe that.
It's just like, I don't know about this.
Was he like turning his head around and talking to you guys about stuff the whole way?
It's where are you guys from? And he's just steering with strings.
You see that hockey game the other day?
No, it almost looked like more like the divorced dad that only sees his kids every other month.
Oh, so a Walgreens dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A Walgreens dad, exactly. Yeah. That's what it looked like.
Yikes.
It's like, he's a professional driver. Are you sure?
There's no doubt he's divorced, dude. If you're going to devote your life to being a bobsled driver.
There's only a handful of places on Earth you can even train for that.
No woman's waiting for that. Not
at the bottom. So anyway, that's how it kills you. We're done talking about G-forces.
Please.
So a model was made of this coaster, and it was actually put on display as part of the Human Plus display in the Science Gallery in, can you guess where? He's from Lithuania. John Allen is from Pennsylvania.
I'm going to say Delaware.
You're right, Dublin, Ireland. Where else are you going to find people drunk enough to want to jump on this coaster? Dublin, Ireland. It sat at this exhibit for a while with the aim to show the future of humans and technology. So,
what?
That's what it was. So
doesn't it seem like that's the wrong... Shouldn't this thing have been at like a mortician conference or something like that?
You'd think, but it was at this like this human... It's called the Human Plus display. And it's this exhibit in this museum. It's kind of like an art / like future technologies type display venue.
So kind of like a World Fair type deal?
There you go. I'm not sure. I didn't look.
You know what the World Fairs are?
No, actually.
Oh, we're going to have to do a whole episode about that, dude. Cool. Very cool stuff.
A lot of the links I looked up for this, it seems like the the venue is kind of shut down because a lot of the links to pages are like page not found.
Oh, sure.
So
that's because everybody took a ride who was running the thing.
I think they're starting to build it. I'll bet it's being built somewhere.
They're starting to build it.
But how do you hide something that tall? You have to hide it behind a mountain. So the very last thing, it is there in 2012. This is just the in pop culture reference.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2012, the Norwegian rock group Major Parkinson released the song Euthanasia Rollercoaster as a single off one of their albums.
Is it any good?
I didn't listen to it. It's Norwegian rock and roll. I don't think it's going to be that good.
I'm pretty sure that copyright laws allow us to do a very small portion.
All right. I can hear myself listening to this on this roller coaster.
It's the only thing that plays.
It's just on a loop.
Just blasts. It's so loud. You can't even turn to the person next to you and say anything. It's so loud.
Please. Turn this song off.
Kill me. Happily.
Thank you for visiting.
You're our 100th visitor.
You're our 100th writer.
Oh.
Congratulations, you get a signed single.
Feel free to throw that on your way down.
Parkinson. It's just the one song on this disc. Oh, not available on Spotify. So anyway, that's it. That's the Euthanasia roller coaster. It doesn't exist, but the prototype does.
Prototype's probably not big enough to ride.
No.
Dang.
Yeah, no, you don't even get to experience a little bit of it. What if they just made it on a half scale? If they made this on a half scale, it would still be the tallest roller coaster in the world by a lot.
Joke, dude. It would still probably work. This is so overkill. It's
for
insane.
people with already existing medical conditions, it'll still work.
Yeah, for some of our less robust passengers.
I love that. Oh, this guy's...
a way to say that.
This guy's going to have to go twice. I can tell already.
I'm good at spotting him. I'm Chet.
You see that one? Yeah, he's double-fisted churros.
Run him again. No.
No, please. Please get me off. Should have thought about that before you signed the papers.
Before you paid us $6,000.
Can you imagine have to pay for that, too?
You probably would. Why wouldn't you?
I mean, maybe just like ticket to the theme park.
Wouldn't that be the only roller coaster in the theme park? I can't imagine you're gonna go and then
like on the
try. You're gonna go have
lot.
fun on like a ladybug bumper car next to that thing.
Spend a day with the kids. If you realize it's not worth it, you've got this really big coaster.
All right, honey, you guys enjoy the lazy river. I got something I gotta do.
Don't call me.
It's so dark. I've got a lot more jokes I'd like to say, and I don't think it's appropriate.
Okay. There's endless jokes here, but that's it. I hope you find it as amusing as we did. Just the concept, and someone put real thought and science behind this.
Well, I think the thing, I mean, that's horrifying anyway, especially that it's like the leader of roller coaster manufacturers pushing this stuff forward too. But like, the thing that's most insane to me about that whole story is like thinking, like picturing through what's happening realistically, especially when you have the sharp whip at the end and then people coming, you know what I mean? Like, and then the idea that you would send them through again and they have all of this time to come back, you know?
Right.
I don't know.
I just saw another statistic. So, holy crap. So the height of this roller coaster is 500 meters or 1,600 feet.
Okay.
And the length of this coaster, and I'm not sure if this is like total track length or just total like length. I assume it's like total track length.
Sure.
It says it's 24,751 feet, which is just over 4.5 miles long.
So you're going taller than the Empire State Building and riding 4.5 miles to your death.
Yes. And it's supposed to take 3 minutes and 20 seconds. I don't think that includes the... Well, maybe
does it say how long it takes to go up? There's no way it takes less.
I mean, it mentions something, obviously nothing specific because this isn't actually a real thing.
I guess that's true.
So it says it takes riders 500 meters to the top. The climb, it takes a few minutes to reach, allowing the user to contemplate their life. So yeah, duration is 3 minutes and 20 seconds. I'm guessing that includes the climb, because I mean you're going 220 miles an hour. You're gonna get to 4.5 miles pretty quick.
No kidding. All right, man.
Anyway, that's what we got, folks.
Thanks, buddy. That was fascinating.
Yeah, pretty cool. Thanks for listening.
Be sure to check us out on every platform you can get a good podcast. You're welcome to send us an email, and at some point we'll tell you what the email is.
Check us out on Instagram at the Low Grade Research Pod, and be sure to check out our sponsor, Springville Meats.
Honestly, you should check out Springville Meats, because they're just a lovely group of people, and it's where the meat meets you.